No, the nigga Puff, like, he called, we should kick it on telephone and shit after the made shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like,
for real.
Now, Fifth, when you continuously call Puff gay, does that affect your relationships in Hollywood?
I don't call him gay. I said,
Let me read it, Fifth.
Oh my God.
Sorry I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under leadership of Puffy Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. Dinner Thieves in theaters January.
Oh, that's why he says things. He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo, no, we...
The hip-hop world has been thrown into chaos after explosive footage reportedly involving Diddy and Burna Boy began circulating online. Almost instantly, it triggered a storm of rumors, guarded reactions, and intense speculation across the industry. What once appeared to be a groundbreaking alliance between a global African superstar and one of rap's richest and most influential power players has now taken a darker and more complicated turn. The situation has raised uncomfortable questions about influence, hidden agreements, and fractured trust, forcing fans and insiders alike to examine what might really be happening beneath the surface of fame. As tensions escalated, one voice stepped forward in a way only he could: 50 Cent. Never known to stay silent when controversy hits, 50 finally addressed the situation head-on, dissecting what may have occurred.
Isn't it weird that the government was so interested in Diddy's baby oil that they took 1,000 bottles away from his house? If the government took 1,000 bottles of baby oil and somebody had things what appeared to be baby oil, and then you have to listen to the prosecutor. He said that they seized 1,000 bottles what allegedly to be baby oil. Allegedly to be baby oil. So that's telling people that it wasn't baby oil. And people think that that was baby oil, they out their mind. I don't believe it was baby oil. Yo, bro, when they went up in there, they knew what they was gonna find. They knew what was ever in that baby oil or that those bottles that appeared to be baby oil, they knew about that at first. You got to realize 9 times out of 10, that individual that got caught at the airport, that was supposed to be their carrier, told them what they was doing and what they had. I wouldn't put him past that he told them everything. So when they went up in there, they knew they had to take whatever was out there, and that thing that appeared to be baby oil,
doors and explaining why the music industry suddenly feels
they
tense,
took that.
cautious, and strangely quiet. Before the controversy ever entered the picture, Burna Boy's rise felt unstoppable. His journey from Port Harcourt to the Grammy stage unfolded like a modern music legend, a story of talent, determination, and cultural pride. Burna wasn't just making hits. He was carrying African sound and spirit to audiences worldwide. Every performance, every major festival appearance, every award nod seemed to confirm one thing: he had officially become a global force. When he teamed up with Diddy on Twice as Tall, the moment was seen as historic. It wasn't just a collaboration, it was a symbol of cross-continental triumph. Diddy represented the peak of American industry influence, a billionaire mogul who had shaped careers and helped define hip-hop's global power. Burna represented raw authenticity.
Let's see how many of those come back to be baby oil. Bro, listen to me. Costco don't sell that much baby oil. Where you know sell that much baby oil?
Yeah, I don't know any store that sell that much baby oil. I know Costco, they came out and said that they don't even sell baby oil.
My sentiments exactly.
But you personally, right, what do you believe was in the baby oil?
If you ever seen a massage parlor being raided and they walking out the people, do they take the massage oil with them when they go? No, they just walk out the people who are being arrested. If you ever seen a person getting arrested and the people being arrested in those brothel houses, do they take out the stuff in the brothel houses? No, they don't. They take the individuals who are being arrested out the brothel houses. For them to take 1,000 bottles of baby oil, it's like that they did not leave one. They left people there, but they ain't leave not one bottle. Nobody needed no baby oil. So my whole thing about it is that there was something in that other than baby oil. That's why they took all the bottles. And 9 times out of 10, if I would give it a wild guess, it was, and like some of the people told me, it was probably that GHB.
What's that?
I think it's gamma hydrox. I looked it up, bro. Let me see. See if I can find it. I know this is just showing everything like that, but oh no. Let me. Yo, somebody tap dance or sing or do something, you know what I'm saying, while I'm doing this. Oh, here it go right here. It's gamma hydroxy butyric. What is it effect on the body? It's a euphoria, drowsiness, decreased anxiety, and memory impairment. It works on the nervous system and gives you this feeling of euphoria. So they take that and rub it on her, and you forget who you are, what you're doing. It can also give you memory loss, drowsiness, and that's under the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration.gov.
A sound rooted in African rhythms, street wisdom, and cultural truth. Together, they created something that felt bigger than music, something that crossed borders with ease. The album's success was undeniable, and at first, the partnership appeared to be a win for everyone involved. Diddy's involvement gave Burna access to major global networks and industry pathways that few African artists had ever touched.
Even gaming because you won't claim it. No, you want to sit around and pretend to like bitch. That's what y'all do. And then you get these hard Jocelyn.
So I'm just
like
curious.
these are the you like half man. No disrespect, but Jocelyn rough.
Them shoulders is.
And the way she like running up on, I already know she done strapped up on you.
Ooh. Ooh. So, Jack, let me ask you. There's some of the shocking things.
I hear that mean with a harness.
Okay, not a harness.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask you this. I'm sure somebody's already asked you this, but have you ever been to a P. Diddy party?
Yeah, several, many, honestly.
And so, can you take us through like what goes on, like when you were there?
What did I say when y'all asked me about why was the TD Jakes at the Diddy party?
Yeah.
What'd I say? Money and sex.
That's it.
That's correct. Were you surprised that there were so many cameras in his houses?
No.
That he's recording these?
Of course. He is the J. Edgar Hoover of hip hop.
Okay.
Y'all done seen him put on the pyramid with a skirt?
So let me ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come and what they call freak-offs now.
Yeah.
Is that something normal that happens in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Freak-offs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody know that. I've been saying it.
Yeah.
How many times I got some these is wild.
So do you feel like people, when they hear pink cocaine, Young Miami has to bring across?
Wait, the Tusi.
Yeah, the Tusi. That's what they got.
I found out. I talked to my drug guy because I wanted to be informed. Because people was calling it Tusi, that's calling it the Tunchi. I didn't know which one it was, so I talked to my drug guy, and my drug guy filled me in, and then it made perfect sense. Tootsie.
Talk to him.
Drugs with Jaguar.
Let's talk.
Drugs education.
101.
So Tootsie is the cocaine, but they take the ketamine and cook it up, and they fold it into the coke. Now, if you don't know what ketamine is what they call on the street Special K. It's a veterinary drug. It's a horse tranquilizer. Now, gay men have been using this for years. See, back in the day, if you went to a gay party or a gay rave, there were certain drugs that you would always find on hand. Viagra, ecstasy, Special K, and cocaine. Now, see, the cocaine keep you up all night, but unfortunately, it gives you limp noodle because of with the blood flow. So you want to fuck with a half-hard dick all night. So that's why you have the Viagra, to make sure that the dick involuntarily stays hard while you're numbing your fucking self with the coke. Now, see, the ketamine, that's a horse tranquilizer. So that relaxes all your muscles. You could get fucked by 80 fucking ton gorillas. You wouldn't feel a thing. So now, your dick is gonna stay hard. You numbed up and you high. You got the ketamine in you so you don't feel shit. And then you add the ecstasy to put in the feeling that you've now blocked out. And now you got a party.
Freak off.
At that scale, Burna's artistry, on the other hand, brought something priceless: credibility, originality, and a sound that felt untouchable. But behind the applause, subtle signs of tension started to surface. Burna, in some interviews, hinted at exhaustion and quiet frustration. His tone shifted in ways fans couldn't ignore. He never said too much, but what he did say suggested that the same agreement that elevated him may have also placed limits on his freedom. That's when the story began to feel less like a victory and more like a warning, proof that fame can be a golden cage, dazzling from the outside, but quietly suffocating within. As the rumors intensified and the footage continued to circulate, the industry reaction was unusually restrained. Some people avoided addressing it entirely. Others spoke in coded language, refusing to say names but implying
hear these stories and everything like that, because this is stuff that happened back in the day. And then maybe that if they knew there was going to ever be a YouTube, or they knew there was going to ever be social media, a lot of the stuff probably wouldn't have got played out like it did. But things happen, and these are just stories from the past. I would like to use that as what you call that, just to clear the facts up what's going on. But it all started, we was in Atlanta, and this story starts when I'm with Puff, and he's in exotic bookstores, and he's doing shopping. Right, he's shopping, getting his stuff and everything like that. So, you know, this is the first time I was ever in an exotic bookstore with Puff. So, you know, I'm giving him his space. He's taking things off the shelves and stuff like that, because they gave him a brown paper bag. When they gave him a brown paper bag, he was just putting stuff in there. So I said, damn, you know, he got to go put it on the counter and, you know, show everybody what he's getting. So as he's going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side, and then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs, and I was like, hey yo, I was messing with him, because people don't understand. You know, we was like friends. He was a part of the same gang, so I'm still gonna tease him. I'm still gonna mess with him and everything like that. I could do that. It wasn't just no security thing. So I say, yo, what are you getting this for? And it said butt plugs, and he was like, yo, can I do my shopping by myself? I said, yeah, you could do it by yourself, brother. And he started walking and everything like that. So when he got to, I just waited at the counter. So when he got to the counter, he didn't even have to show the guy nothing. He just gave the guy a wad of money. I mean, like, he gave the guy a stack, something like this. And Puff wasn't the dude that carried no 20s and no 50s and nothing like that. And I mean, like, he just said, boom. And we walked out the store. So we had to leave Atlanta and go to North Carolina for a show. You understand? And it was him, this rapper, Sarah, and this other girl. We all got on a G5 jet, and we flew to G4 jet, and we flew to North Carolina. So later on that, I think that afternoon, same day, this rapper and him, they all in the room together. You know, it's sad
that there were deeper forces at play. That silence became part of the tension, and then came 50 Cent. As always, he didn't sugarcoat anything. In his trademark, blunt style, he dropped a statement that landed like a shockwave. He suggested that certain power players act like they control people's futures, and that the industry has always had a history of exploitation dressed up as mentorship. The comments spread quickly across hip-hop circles, reopening long-standing conversations about false guidance, contract control, and what happens when success comes attached to strings that can't be easily cut. In the music industry, contracts often operate like invisible puppet strings, silent mechanisms that determine
at the door and stuff like that. Like, yeah, so then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. We had the presidential suite where we was at. So I opened the door and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. I said, who your cousin? And he said, Ja Rule. I said, well, he busy right now. He said, he busy doing what? I said, he with Puff. They're in the room. They busy. They don't want to be bothered. He said, well, I'm going in there. I said, bro, you ain't going in there because he told me they don't want nobody to be bothering them. And he was like, yo, I don't care, man. I'm going in there. That bull like that. I said, yo, bro, Jesus Christ had to come down here and take the air out of my body before you get in that room right there. Watch. He tried to bum rush me. I grabbed his and threw him against the piano. When I threw him into the piano, Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, G, that's my cousin. He know me well, you know, and Puff was like, yo, G, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. And he was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room because there's a lot of freaking going on. So I was like, oh, he said it was a lot of freaking going on. So that was basically that story, man. You know what I'm saying? They went back in the room. Dude felt a certain kind of way and he left out. So I seen them at the concert the next day and they tried to, you know, form up against me. But my man Frank was like, I told my man Frank, I was like, yo, Frank, put yourself in that position. Somebody trying to get in the room and Ja told you don't let nobody get in the room. What would you do? Now y'all can do whatever y'all want to do, man. But you know I ain't taking no losses. He said, yo, you good, and that was it. Bro, when Ja said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of freaky stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those butt plugs.
Right.
Who really benefits from an artist's creativity? Very few people understand how to maneuver those systems better than Diddy. For decades, he's been both praised and criticized for his business brilliance. Some call him a visionary, others call him ruthless. Either way, he's known for building empires through deals, partnerships, and leverage. According to insiders, Burna's agreement with Diddy reportedly granted him significant influence over key areas such as royalties, distribution channels, branding, and even touring decisions. On paper, that might look like standard business, a partnership, a collaboration, a strategic move. But in reality, those clauses can become cages. They can turn creativity into numbers and percentages. And once an artist's vision becomes filtered through corporate structure, the artist risks becoming a commodity rather than a creator. Legal analysts often point out that deals like these sit in a gray zone. They are technically legal, technically mutual, technically agreed upon, but they can still create a dynamic where one party holds far more control than the other. In many cases, the artist signs while hungry, optimistic, and trusting, not fully realizing how deep the restrictions run until the momentum becomes massive. Burna's mounting frustration, then, might not just be emotional or personal. It may be rooted in the hard reality of legal limitations. The smallest clause in a contract can determine who truly owns the art, who owns the image, and who ultimately profits long after the music stops trending. The truth is harsh. In an industry obsessed with power, the signature on a page can decide the rest of your career. As this controversy grew, fans quickly divided into camps. One group accused Diddy of doing what critics have long claimed he does, attaching himself to rising stars, capitalizing on their momentum, and positioning himself to benefit from their success in ways the public doesn't fully understand. Another group argued that Burna should be grateful that Diddy helped push him even further into global territory, and that turning against him looked ungrateful or short-sighted. But what made this situation even more intense was the involvement of leaked footage, because if it reveals more than just business issues, then the conversation shifts into even darker territory. People began asking deeper questions about what influence truly looks like when no one is watching, and how power operates in private spaces behind industry doors. 50 Cent didn't just speak on the drama, he used it as a lesson. He made it clear that owning his masters is the reason nobody can ever control him. His words weren't just a jab, they were a cautionary message, a warning to every rising artist watching. In hip-hop, every partnership carries an invisible struggle for leverage. When pride, ambition, and power collide, even deals worth millions can collapse overnight. Guidance can easily slip into manipulation. Admiration can evolve into defiance. And once trust is broken, even the strongest alliances become fragile. At the center of it all is the timeless question the music industry never wants fully exposed. At what point does mentorship cross the line into domination? Industry titans like Diddy have built careers shaping the futures of younger artists. But when the balance of power becomes too unequal, that influence can turn into control. Burna Boy's experience reflects the harsh paradox of stardom. The higher you climb, the less freedom you may have over your own path. Fame comes with access, luxury, and recognition, but it can also come with invisible chains that few people manage to break. And when those chains begin to tighten, artists often reach a turning point where they must choose between staying silent for stability or speaking up for freedom. As the situation unraveled, the glittering veneer carefully crafted around it began to crack. What remained wasn't just scandal, it was a warning. A reminder that fame without control is little more than modern servitude. The clash between authority and artistic freedom has existed for as long as music itself. Yet rarely does it erupt so visibly, rarely does it expose the hidden struggles shaping careers behind the scenes. The Burna Boy saga, regardless of how it ends, has already sparked an industry-wide conversation about ownership, autonomy, and what artists must sacrifice to sit at certain tables. Beyond the swirling rumors and public speculation lies a reality that cannot be ignored. Control is the ultimate currency. Burna's resistance could represent more than personal frustration, it could signal a shift in the culture. A rising generation of artists is demanding full ownership of their music, image, and story. They are refusing to be managed in ways that reduce them to assets. They're fighting for the right to steer their own legacy. And 50 Cent's final remarks land with sharp clarity. The rules of the game never really change, only the players do. His words carry insight and warning as legal teams move quietly. Narratives shift rapidly, and power structures protect themselves. The leaked footage may represent more than a viral scandal. It may expose how deep power can reach, and how quickly influence can turn into pressure. At this point, the most important question isn't just who released the footage, it's who benefits from it. Who profits from the silence? Who gains from keeping artists confused, restricted, or afraid to speak out? Because in an industry addicted to control, the loudest truth is often the one the powerful work hardest to bury. And if Burna Boy has finally found his voice, the real battle may just be beginning.